think the House, elected by about the same number of Nigerians, the House as a whole, because they're all members of constituencies. Do you think that, it is disrespect to invite the president of the country to discuss something that bothers all of them?
Not at all. There's nothing wrong in wanting to meet the president. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong in wanting to meet the president for explanation on things that the House is not really very clear about. But when you threaten sanctions that you cannot even implement, you can invite any, what the House relies on is on the provision that says that, in the constitution that they can invite anybody, mm-hmm. and if they invite somebody and he does not turn up, they can, institute proceedings against that person. Mm-hmm. The president is somebody you cannot institute any proceedings against. Mm-hmm. So what you cannot effect, mm-hmm. there's no point for you to attempt, to try it. So, common sense and good behavior says that if we must get this information, then let us be civil about it. We want to meet our president, we want explanation. And in any case, the issue that are about to be discussed are very sensitive things, and not things you come into the open or where there are about 400 people and start to talk about it. There's a committee on security. Mm-hmm. That committee on security and some leadership of the assembly should privately meet with the president, mm-hmm. And on media chat, you were there. Mm-hmm. The president had no problem at all. He said, and he's willing to meet the House at any time. Mm-hmm. The president meets the House. President addresses. A president addresses the assembly at any time.
Let's talk now. Let's move to building institutions.
Yeah.
Because now you have said that the president, of his own volition, chose the chairman of INEC, selected him as
painstakingly.
Okay. Painstakingly chose the chairman of INEC. Now, what are the chances? Is there any way we can actually entrench it in such a way that this is not left to the whims and caprices of a sitting president? Because if after President Jonathan leaves and they're about to pick another chairman, and the president the person who's president at that time feels that I shouldn't go through all that pains, I shouldn't painstakingly pick a candidate, how can we make sure that that thing is not subject to, and that at every point in time, the person we have sitting as INEC chairman is a person of integrity?
Now, if you look at the United States of America, it does not matter who the president is. Let him be Republican, let him be Democrat. There are certain things, there are certain policies of the U.S. that will not change. The policy towards Israel does not change. The policy concerning the interests of America in various places do not change. You understand? So I agree with you. We've gotten a benevolent president, resourceful, and who wants to be dispassionate and about the issue of electoral processes as concerns his own personal interest. Not every president will want to do that. What we now need to do is that we may not have another Jonathan come next time, which is what you're saying. Maybe we should also now begin to look at what are the other procedures we can engage in to pick the chief electoral officer. Maybe, we have too many issues. I was going to suggest that maybe a committee of the of the justices of Nigeria, the CJ, is it CJN or what do you call that?
NJC.
NJC, mm-hmm. All right, can recommend, 2 or 3 persons to a sitting president who now forwards that list to the assembly for consideration. But there are a lot of issues also about NJC, what we read in the papers. So these are things that do not really make you very, very comfortable. But we've got to begin to go along certain ways of ensuring that it is the institutions that I agree with you 100%. It is the institutions that we build, not relying on the goodness of the man that is there now. The next president may not be as good as President Jonathan. He may not be as less desperate with and he may be more disposed to using power arbitrarily than this present sitting president. So we're just, it's just by fortuitous luck and God and providence that we have this present person who fits into the, into what exactly
because from
we're
what
looking at.
Mark is trying to point out here is that it's not all of the time we'll be so lucky. A day will come, then if you say this is good luck for us, then a day will come where we wouldn't be having such kind of luck. So we're talking about entrenching such.
So this is the time now.
Irrespective of
this is the
who
time
is
now.
there,
this is the time now
the system
that
right.
we all agree
yes.
that the INEC chairman is okay, is doing well, his team is doing well. This time now we now use the INEC chairman, use our legislation to now build that institution formally and legally, that it does not, it really does not matter. In fact, we can do it to an extent that it does not also matter who the INEC chairman is. The commissioner on site will not misbehave.
I want us to quickly look at this other issue before we go, because we're actually running out of time here. It has to do with comments from people and the electors, because some people here on our Twitter here, they say, well, the pass mark, they still insist that the pass mark shouldn't be for the president. The pass mark shouldn't be for any officer like INEC. They say it is the electorate first. Now, I asked Nikome about the voter participation now, civic responsibility, civic duty, and civic education for the people. How well can they be enlightened to the extent that we can now say, yes, truly what we have seen or what we will be saying is a reflection of the kind of knowledge they do have concerning democracy?
You see, edu elections offer so many things for people who are discerning. You understand? Adams Oshimole is a peculiar person. He is coming from the labor union family. In the labor union, they are well groomed in the art of propaganda and human management. You know, Adams Oshimole himself had mobilized the public. He had gotten across to the electorate by himself. He identifies with them, he moves in with them, he shouts at every opportunity that he has to shout, you understand, and cries at opportunities that he needs to cry, so as to get sentiments and all that. So those who are saying that it is the people that must be given credit, yes, we will give people credit because they turned out, also because they also behaved themselves, but people are not like that. I have been involved in elections all my life, all my adult life. A woman, just standing in line, just shift position, and somebody will tap her and say, you did Chris, you not see me. And chaos, the person who's tapping is PDP, the person that tap is ACN. Chaos comes around. So, you still have to, you must give credit to those who ensured that the security agencies, were present, and obviously the briefing they got was to maintain law and order, not to in any way support anybody. And I also want to say this also. You see, under this president, the police is being reformed, even the Secret Service, the SSS is being reformed. Before, if I say anything outrageous on this television, before we come out, SSS will be there. They will impound your license. They will seal up your station. I will be driven off in a station wagon to Abuja or some unknown destination. But now, the SSS has become democratized. They're coming to air. They're saying, irrespective of what people are saying, they themselves are speaking out their own views. You can put a face on it. You can argue with them. You can call them. It has become a properly civilized organization.
And it's part of the democratic process.
It is part of the democratic process. And I'm just saying it will be unfair, all right, if we do not give kudos to the man at the top who, after all, what the opposition wants us to believe is that President Jonathan is not doing anything. Fundamental changes and revolutionary changes are taking place in this country in our very before. Majority of these people in opposition are like the Jews. When Christ came, they didn't see him. You understand? Fundamental changes are taking place. The institutional changes that you are talking about are, taking place in our presence. And it is important, that we give honor to whom it is due.